Week 9, oh my goodness, a lot of cash performances. It was a big week, a very big week. We're going to tell you about it. We're also going to give you those trash performances as well. And of course, talk about a couple drop candidates. It's going to be a great show. Thank you for joining us. Let's get straight to it.
Welcome to the FantasyLand Football Podcast.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, here we go. Okay, it is the 9th of November. It is probably a Monday morning, Monday afternoon when you're listening to this, whatever time it might be. Welcome in to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great show for you today. My name is Zach. This is Badaki. Week 9. How you feeling after week 9? How did your leagues go? Did you win in our league, in the pod league?
Yeah, won in our league, won in all the other leagues that I have, and the New York Football Giants won, and it's a good week. I got W's all across the board.
Okay, right. So the Giants won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that means that Washington.
Something like that, but it's all love.
Hey, it's all love. All I care about is getting Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence at this point. Yeah. I'll be honest. So do whatever you have to do, boys. I had a great week as well. I won in every league I'm in. Those kind of weeks come rare. They're very rare, but
absolutely,
it's a great feeling. So we're definitely in a better mood than we have been in other previous straight cash and just trash episodes. But hey, there's lots of news to talk about. Let's get into it.
What is going on here?
What is going on around the National Football League? Let's talk about David Johnson.
Oh, man. Concussion.
The matchup was beautiful.
Yeah.
The matchup was literally beautiful. But as Badaki said, he left, I think, within like the first couple snaps on offense, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the first quarter, probably like the first drive. He had a hard hit, went down, and then went to the blue tent, never came back.
And potentially your matchups never recovered. Another guy that probably screwed you over was Justin Jackson.
Yep.
This was before the game happened, wasn't it?
No, this was actually, I think he had one snap. Didn't have, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he had one snap. And then you didn't see him at all. I was confused. No. But apparently he was cleared to come back into the game. He just was.
Which is strange because I felt like they could have used him.
Yeah.
Those Chargers blue unis, those dark blue unis are just so nice to look at.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say they're just so ugly. I was like, I really like them.
No, they're nice. What's happening with David Montgomery?
Yeah, Monty, he left the game in the fourth quarter with a concussion as well. Look, I mean, he was playing the Titans, so I mean, I don't know. He just left the game in the fourth quarter. And there's not really much to it. He didn't come back in the fourth quarter. They were losing, so they were down anyway. So,
yeah, Monty's not really an exciting player in fantasy. He's just kind of there, and similar to David Johnson, you probably start him when you have him. We'll monitor that throughout the week. Yeah. Kyle Allen, yikes. Hard to watch as a Washington football team fan. Yeah. You got to root for the underdogs. You got to root for the guys like a Kyle Allen. And he was playing decently.
Yeah.
He's obviously not a star. Mm-hmm. He was playing decently and had the ankle injury. It did not look good. And as soon as you saw it, you just kind of knew he was out for the year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's not really much you can do. You just hope that he has a fast recovery. Obviously out for the season. Alex Smith looked good, but I think if I'm a Washington football team fan, I'm thinking of the future. Like you said, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, they drafted Dwayne Haskins. They're not even starting him. They want to get rid of him already. So it looks like the future for these boys is.
You know what, though? I actually really, really want to see Dwayne Haskins rest of the season. I know Alex Smith is going to be the starter, but what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
Just play Dwayne Haskins. Anyway, I'm going to get angry because I feel like there's literally nothing to lose. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on the show. You can follow us on Instagram at FantasyLand Football, Twitter at FantasyLand_FB. You can watch the show on YouTube, and you can listen on any podcast platform in the world. We'd love to give you updates on our socials. Let's talk straight cash.
If you don't write checks, how do you pay these guys?
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash. Who was straight cash from week 9? Oh my gosh. Last week was a hard one because very disappointing week when it came to crazy fantasy weeks. Obviously, Dalvin Cook went off, but a lot of people did not perform. Whereas this week,
too many people
performed. A lot of people put up points. Yeah. And you're probably not going to hear every name you want to on this list. Hey, it was just too many
It was just too much. Filling out this list I was going through, I was like, man, like, I wish I could talk about all these guys, but we kind of narrowed it down for you. Look, we'll start off with quarterbacks here. Like we said, we played the 6 points per passing touchdown. Start off here, we had Kyler Murray against the Miami Dolphins, which they lost, surprisingly. I don't think anyone thought that.
Wow.
Which is a crazy great game. Kyler Murray, 283 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdowns, 37 fantasy points. If you had Kyler Murray.
Kyler went off.
Yeah.
Kyler went off. You know what, though? As excited as I am about Kyler Murray, I think the storyline here, no disrespect to Kyler, he's quarterback 1 of the week, is Tua. Time in Miami.
Absolutely.
We said last week, we don't know anything about Tua after last week. Mm-hmm. We didn't know anything after that game. And this game showed us so much. I am starting to understand why they made the change.
Yeah. I think maybe he wasn't ready at all. And, maybe they were asking him in the meetings, you ready to go? How you doing? How's the injury? And I think he finally said, I'm good to go. And then they gave him the opportunity. That could be the situation. Josh Allen, 415 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 36 fantasy points against the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, look, that defense, there's so much talent on that defense. It's just terrible, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But look, Josh Allen did his thing.
Josh Allen's not been necessarily amazing as of recent. Is this something that we can start to rely on more consistently? Is Josh a top 3 guy? He's not a top 5 guy rest of the season for me, but I'm just asking, what can people expect the rest of the season with this schedule? It's not necessarily a great schedule. You got Arizona, which isn't bad. Chargers aren't a great defense, but then San Francisco, Pittsburgh, New England, Denver. What do you expect from Josh rest of the way?
Look, I think they'll win a couple of these games personally. I think they're gonna give Pittsburgh a run for their money. They might be the first team to give Pittsburgh their loss. But look, I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. I think he'll still stay in my top 10 range, maybe just outside the top 5 for me. So maybe he'll probably fall 6, 7, 8 around there for the rest of the season. Yeah. But top 10 for me.
Yeah, I like it. Both of these guys.
Straight cash, homie.
Let's talk about running backs. Oh my gosh. This stat line for 2 games, 56 touches, 478 yards. Like I said, 478 yards in 2 games and 6 touchdowns.
Oh my God, he on X Games mode.
That is Dalvin Cook.
Man.
Wow.
Man. I was a bit upset at myself because when he broke for that 70-yard run, I didn't see it. I was watching the game the whole time.
Not good enough. I
watched every single play. The one play I didn't see is the one play that he went for 70 yards. Anyways, Dalvin Cook did his thing. CMC is back, your boy.
Yes, baby. CMC is back. It's a time to celebrate, Hey, how long did you wait for CMC to be back? And people said, oh, I don't know if you can start him. Oh, I don't know how much touches he's going to get. Come on, bro. Come on. It's CMC. I hope you started him.
He did
that
his thing.
Stat line is crazy. Over 150 total yards, 10 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 37 fantasy points. CMC is back.
It's what you want. It's what you want against a good defense, a Chiefs defense that, they kind of took advantage. The Carolina Panthers played a really good game. Their record doesn't reflect the team that they are. I think they have a lot of talent. I think they're, if obviously this division is hard now, with Tom, obviously Drew's in there.
Yeah.
But, I like the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers are a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a good team. Those guys are cash. Let's talk about wide receivers. An interesting name to start us off here.
Yeah, it's so random, by the way. Thursday night, obviously, with the 49ers, Richie James, he kind of went off nine receptions, 13 touches, 84 yards and a touchdown, 33 fantasy points. Random. Obviously, Debo was out. Brandon Ayuk was on the COVID reserve list. George Kittle was out as well. All these, key players for the 49ers were out, and someone had to emerge from the ashes, and that was Richie James.
Mm-hmm.
Did his thing. He did
I want to, I just want to make sure we help people with their expectations this week.
Right.
Richie James, he's probably not going to be on the waiver wire list for us because this is a game that's probably never going to happen again in his life.
Right.
I don't know. Am I wrong? Will he be on the waiver show tomorrow?
Look, I personally don't think he should be. I think he will still be available in a lot of leagues. Obviously, hopefully Brandon Ayuk comes back next week. So, I don't see him having this role still.
Yeah, agreed. Devontae Adams obviously went off on Thursday night. You know about that. Tyreek Hill, had an amazing game, over 30 points. But what I want to focus on is the 18 targets.
Crazy.
18 targets for Tyreek Hill. That's crazy because what's Tyreek Hill's problem always been? To be this top 3 wide receiver.
Yep.
He's a boom or bust guy.
Yeah.
He's only about the big play. He's going to get 4 to 5 catches a game.
Yeah, we always said that.
18 targets?
He heard us.
That is crazy.
He heard us. He heard us talking crap about him. He was like, you only boom or bust 18 targets now.
Yeah.
That's what you want from Tyreek every single week, really.
Absolutely. We'll see if it can continue. Finishing off the wide receivers for us, DJ Chark, 27 points, had an amazing game with Luton back at quarterback.
Luton.
Oddly enough, DJ Chark is a talented wide receiver. He was in the game plan. Curtis Samuel having a little bit of a revival? Is that the right word? I don't know. In his career?
Yeah, maybe in his career, 3 back-to-back games with 15 plus points. This was my Hail Mary of the week to start Curtis Samuel. He did his thing, 26 plus fantasy points. This is actually what you want.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yep. He was. So many wide receivers were cash. These were the 5 we wanted to talk about.
Straight cash, homie.
Tight ends. Obviously, Travis Kelce. Feels like every week he's going to be on this list. We don't want to talk too much about it. 26 fantasy points, but old man Jimmy Graham.
Oh man, Jimmy Graham. Yeah,
6
Jimmy
receptions, 55 yards and a touchdown, 17 fantasy points. Did you drop Jimmy Graham?
Nope, he's still on my team. So if you need a tight end, hit me up.
If you need a tight end, hit Badaki up.
Whatever you need.
Honorable mentions. We don't want to spend too much time on them. Obviously, Patty did his thing. Patty Mahomes. J.D. McKissick, 9 receptions for 65 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? This is so frustrating as a Washington fan and as an owner of Antonio Gibson in leagues. I don't know if who I need to send an email to, but I want to remind anyone in the Washington franchise that Antonio Gibson played wide receiver in college.
I don't know, man.
Please, if you're going to give drop-off passes, give them to Antonio Gibson. He's the second most talented player on this team.
Yeah.
Why is J.D. McKissick getting so many catches a game?
I think this was just the game plan. Obviously, if you saw last time against the Giants, J.D. McKissick was in that role. He had a similar game, not as many points as this game, but he had a similar game. So I think it was just game plan. I don't expect him to do much and continue this.
I just need you. If you're hearing me, Rivera, I need you to free Gibson because it is painful to watch Peyton Barber carry the ball. It is painful to see J.D. McKissick take touches. Guys, Antonio Gibson is so talented. Please just give him the opportunity.
Yeah.
Kalen Ballage. What the hell?
What? Who? I didn't even know. I didn't even know he was activated on the team. I knew he was on the practice squad. I didn't think he got moved up.
That was a surprise to almost everybody.
Yeah.
And even more of a surprise was how much they used him in the game plan. 15 carries, almost 70 yards, 17 total touches, and a touchdown. Not really a guy you want to add on the waivers, though.
No, not at all. I mean, one-off type guy.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy finally finds the end zone for the second time of his career.
Yes, sir.
14 targets, 125 yards. He had 25-plus points. That's amazing. Keenan Allen also finds a touchdown, 100-plus yards, 25-plus points as well. And then last but not least, on the honorable mentions is Terry McLaurin.
Bang up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Back up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry. Terry, I mean, he broke out for that long touchdown, 115-plus yards, 24-plus fantasy points. I mean, if you have Terry McLaurin, you're buzzing. It was a great matchup for him as well.
Could you imagine trading away Terry McLaurin?
I can.
Oh,
I've done
my
it.
goodness.
Shout out to Darren Waller.
Wow. Who the heck would trade away Terry McLaurin? No, look, obviously, great game. You got great value in that trade. Hey, if you really enjoy the show, if you really enjoy the pod, how can people, support? Let's say you're listening and you're like, I like these guys. I like their pages. I like the pod. I like the content. I want to support them. We are not funded by anyone. This is our full-time, gig. We don't have anything else we're putting our time and efforts into. How can you support us if you want to?
That's right. Look, we actually have a Patreon right now, patreon.com/FantasyLand Fam. If you love the show, if you love the content that we bring you, if you love, fantasy football, just like we do, support the show, help us grow to help you, win fantasy championships. We have 3 different types of tiers. Make sure you go check that out. Once again, patreon.com/FantasyLand Fam. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, yeah. Get to it if you want to support this show. Appreciate you. All love from the Fantasyland fam.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
He needs some milk.
He needs some milk. Say it again.
He needs some milk.
Tom Brady. He needs some milk. Say it again.
Oh, my goodness.
He needs some milk.
3 interceptions from the GOAT. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
What the hell
He had a
happened?
terrible game.
Terrible.
I don't even know how to explain it. He just went downhill after. I don't even know what after. I don't even know when he went downhill. It started at the bottom and it didn't move.
Started from the bottom and we're still here at the bottom. Tom Brady finished with 2 fantasy points, 3 interceptions, and it doesn't make much sense because the matchup was great. They were at home.
Yeah.
They had their entire wide receiving core. Honestly, for me, it's just one of those matchups I'm just chucking up and saying, hey, it's the NFL. This happens.
Yep.
I am not too worried about it going forward. I am worried not about Tom Brady specifically. However, you and I have said we don't trust him as our starting quarterback for a long time. We've said that.
That's right.
But you should proceed with caution starting Brady, right?
Look, historically, I mean, when Tom Brady has a terrible game, he's going to come out and probably have one of his best games right after this. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that he's going to come out and then play an amazing game. I'm just saying that he will at least score 2 touchdowns this next game because he wants to. He needs to. Yeah. It's an addiction for him. He's playing the Carolina Panthers at Carolina, so I think that's going to be a good matchup.
I agree. I'm excited to see it. Matthew Stafford obviously left the game. Such a strange week for Matthew Stafford. 8 fantasy points. If you streamed any of these guys, it was not a good day for you, and you kind of just have to move on at the end of the day.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Let's talk about running backs, though. Start us off here with our trash running backs.
Yeah, obviously from Thursday night, Jermichael Hastings, 3 fantasy points. I mean, such a disappointment for Jermichael Hastings, and then also another disappointment.
Where do you... you've always called him Hastings.
Is it Hasty? Hasty.
You've always said Hastings. I just found that so funny.
Call him Hastings. Yeah, I like Hastings.
Yeah, what's up, Jermichael Hastings? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. James Conner, look, this should have been his boom game. It wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
It was such a disappointment. 9 carries, 22 yards, 4 fantasy points. Massive disappointment against this Dallas defense. I told you Dallas was going to have, some sort of game.
Is this concerning going forward as a James Conner owner?
No, I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I think this was just a one-off game. I'm not really sure who he plays next week. Do you know who he plays next week? I got to look it up.
I don't, but obviously you're playing him, right? You're playing James Conner.
Yeah.
But it was just he didn't look good at all this game. If you watched it,
I think
he didn't look good at all.
Just an off week, potentially. He's playing Cincinnati next week. And then he has Jacksonville right after that, which is a good matchup. I think he'll have 2 bounce-back games for sure.
Could probably expect this to be the worst game here on out for him this year.
Yeah, surely.
Ronald Jones, 4.8 fantasy points. It was a bad game for most of the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fantasy options. But Derrick Henry, the king. King Henry himself. Only 6.8 fantasy points, 21 carries. This is the danger, right?
Mm-hmm. This is it.
This is the danger with Derrick Henry. It's a PPR league. We always talk in PPR points. If you're not in a PPR league, even if you're in standard, those numbers are low. But this is the danger with Derrick Henry as your RB1.
That's right. Look, Chicago Bears, they have a good run defense. So I think that, maybe they played the run. AJ had a good game. And I just think that, it was just a bad matchup for him personally. I think he'll come back. He's played Thursday night against the Colts, his next game. So we'll see.
This is obviously obvious, to say, but it's crazy how I value Henry in a standard league and how I value him in a PPR league.
Right.
Because standard, it doesn't get much better. And PPR, this sounds weird. Like, I want Derrick Henry, but he's not really a guy I'm like, let me get Derrick Henry. Let me get him in that trade market.
Yeah.
Let me give up value for him. I don't know if that's weird. I just know he's not involved in the passing game.
I don't know. I don't know how to value him. I've never had Derrick Henry. I don't understand. I'm like you. I like Derrick Henry. I'm not somebody that goes out to get him. I think if I'm in that position in the draft, I'll probably choose him. But I'm not going to go out and trade for him. I don't think.
Yeah.
I've never
I know we heard a couple people talking about how they were taking Derrick Henry at the 3 spot in the draft this year. And that was crazy to me. That was crazy. And obviously Derrick Henry is an elite running back. We're just talking from PPR fantasy perspective. What happened to the Broncos backfield though?
Look,
what the heck?
Just terrible. Once again, terrible. Both Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay combined for 6 fantasy points. That's just terrible.
That's so bad.
If you have Melvin Gordon,
that's so bad.
Mind you, they play the Atlanta Falcons, which also has a terrible defense. This was supposed to be, their boom game as well, for one of them at least. And neither of them could surpass 5 points. A huge disappointment for the Broncos backfield today.
We've been telling you to trade away Melvin Gordon for a while. Hopefully you did it. Hopefully you did it because of the Atlanta game. Hopefully you convinced someone.
Yeah.
Because his value is at an all-time low. And unfortunately, there's just not really too much you can do.
That's right.
Broncos backfield, not something that is very desirable at the moment.
He needs some milk.
All right, wide receivers. Trash wide receivers.
This is
Tyler
huge.
Lockett.
This is huge again.
It is massive.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett. What happened? What's the deal with Tyler Lockett? It seems like he is in this conversation of winning and losing you weeks.
Yeah. That's exactly it. And as much as I love Tyler Lockett and I think he's a great receiver, it's just once he's starting to become this boom bust player.
Let's actually look at his game log since week 3. All right. Why don't we go on this journey together here? Ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Week 3, 37 fantasy points. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Week 4, 5.9. Week 5, 8.4. Week 7, 55 fantasy points. Week 8, 7.3. Week 9, 8.
Doesn't make any sense.
Can you trust him? I mean, you have to start him, right?
Yeah, you have to start him. I'm not sure why. I think maybe Russ keeps throwing these long bombs, and all those bombs are to DK. And when he does the short ones, he does it to Tyler. So Tyler is not getting.
It's so strange to me.
The yards.
It's so strange to me because I played Steve, a guy in our league. I played him in a different league, and I saw Tyler Lockett with 4 points. And knowing that the Seahawks were down, I was so worried. I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking to myself, Tyler Lockett is about to get a bunch of targets and a bunch of points. And it didn't work out. I don't know about you, but Tyler Lockett's a guy, I don't know that I'm trying to trade him away, but I'm not holding on to him too tightly just because of the unpredictability.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. If I have Tyler Lockett, I'm definitely hesitant to keep him. And I'll be trying to trade him away, purely based off his name. DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop, also let you down this week. Let you down specifically, Zach. 6 fantasy points.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good game. This Miami defense is actually legit, okay?
Yeah. It is a good defense.
Yeah, which is, not surprising. It just took a little bit, took a little bit to get them into gear.
No, they are a good defense, and I think there should be respect given where respect is due in that scenario. But how the heck does DeAndre Hopkins in this game with 3 targets?
You tell me, man. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I thought we were all on the same page that DeAndre Hopkins was one of the best wide receivers in the league. And you're telling me that your game plan, you said, no disrespect to anyone on Miami because they have a great defense. Mm-hmm. Xavier Howard's a great cornerback. Really good cornerback. But I'm sorry. Did we just forget who DeAndre Hopkins was? 3 targets? 3 targets.
I think that had to do a lot with the pass rush for the Miami team. They rushed Kyler Murray. They took him out of the pocket a lot, and he didn't really look down the field when he was scrambling. He kind of just resorted to running. So
yeah, I honestly feel like this was really bad game planning from the Arizona coaching staff. You have to force feed certain stars.
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara should be fed the ball. Dalvin Cook should be fed the ball. Devontae Adams should be fed the ball. DeAndre Hopkins, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. 3 targets, that has to be some sort of career low for, I don't know, however many games. Anyway, regardless, this is just a week that's happened. You got to move on. You're starting him every week, and he is still a top 3 or 4 fantasy wide receiver, right? There's no questioning in that because of this one off week.
No, absolutely. DeAndre Hopkins must start every week. Adam Thielen, 5 points, also let you down. Dalvin Cook has been going off, so let's be honest. You run the ball if Dalvin's cooking. Also, Corey Davis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
The goose of the week.
Uh-oh. Yep.
Goose of the week, 0 points. After that amazing game, 100+ yards, double-digit targets, 20. I think he had like 22+ points last week. Corey Davis, no looks, 0 points. It's kind of surprising there. I bet a lot of people started Corey Davis as well.
Yeah. The egg special, the goose egg of the week. We actually talked about Corey Davis on our waiver wire targets last week.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we said together, Badaki, was this was probably a game script last week to get him involved.
Yeah.
And that's what's really scary about this team. It seems like they are very game script dependent on who gets the ball. It's not a natural progression from what it feels like. Is
No.
that fair to say? It just doesn't feel like a natural, like, yeah, whoever's open, whoever's feeling it, let's get them through. It feels very predetermined.
Yeah, I think
and it's
so.
working for them, but that hurts us in fantasy.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think the only person that you can trust, I mean, obviously AJ Brown didn't have his best game last week, but he did up and going into the end zone, which kind of saved that aspect of the game plan being directed really just to one person. Corey Davis is not somebody that I'm excited to start. I think the two game plans for this team is Derrick Henry, AJ Brown. Derrick Henry, AJ Brown. That's literally it. Those are the two guys. And if AJ Brown is shut down, then hopefully Jonnu Smith or Corey Davis is open, or vice versa. If Derrick Henry shut down, AJ Brown is having a great game.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. Let's talk about the Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this elite Madden Ultimate Team franchise team. They're playing Madden mode. They grabbed Antonio Brown. They grabbed all these players. They've got Godwin. They got Evans. They've got Fournette. They've got Gronkowski. All these receiving options, yet you weren't happy starting any of them.
Not at all.
Let's talk about it, right?
Yeah, just to break it down, AB 6 points, Chris Godwin 7 points, Mike Evans 10 points. Obviously Mike Evans probably just saved you just a little bit. He kind of went over that threshold for you for fantasy points related. But these guys, all these guys were started in multiple leagues, hundreds and thousands of leagues, and all these guys let somebody down. Tom Brady, Fournette, Ronald Jones, like you said, all those people that you named let people down, especially the big three, the three-headed monster, AB, Chris, and Mike. It's disappointing.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, Chris Godwin, I don't know if you watched the game fully, right?
Yeah.
You saw in pregame how he was catching the ball.
Yeah, he wasn't
with his middle finger.
Yeah.
Which is not how you're supposed to try and catch a ball. It's not the proper technique.
Correct.
You want your most of the force to be from your pointing finger, but that's the finger that he had surgery on.
Right.
So I get it with Godwin. I get it. But, man, this was disappointing. And I think you have to throw it out to an extent, because we talked about this last week, Badaki, didn't we?
Yeah.
We talked about this when we gave our start or sits for week 9. We said this isn't really a good thing for fantasy to have all these options.
No, it's not. It's too many mouths to feed.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen, is it?
Yeah, it's hard, and I think that's what happened with Tom. He wants to look at everyone because everyone could be a playmaker, maybe, and it just couldn't happen. And we saw that, last night, and it just wasn't good.
It wasn't good, and I have Chris Godwin in the league, and I'm holding, and I think you have to hold on every single one of these players.
Yeah,
I don't think you can trade them because their trade value is not very high. You certainly can't trade AB. You certainly can't trade him right now.
No, not at all.
Let's talk tight ends. Obviously, Gronkowski, 1.2 fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
Again, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Speaking of cooks, Jared Cook. What a segue.
What a segue.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Jared Cook.
All right. Hey.
He struggled.
Yeah.
He struggled. He had that strip fumble, and after that, he kind of just went downhill. And obviously, I think a lot of people started him. I think people started Jared Cook. I think
For sure. Definitely.
It probably wasn't the best matchup against the Tampa defense, but you had to start him if you didn't have a tight end. 3 fantasy points for him, but I think
I want to, this whole Jared Cook situation, Michael Thomas situation, Alvin Kamara didn't have his best game ever. I think what we have to keep in mind is that it was 31-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
It was 31-0 at halftime. Okay? So your Michael Thomas, people who are worried about Michael Thomas, look at the amount of times he was looked to when they needed him to actually perform. Don't stress about Michael Thomas just yet. Don't stress about Jared Cook because of this game script. Don't stress about Alvin Kamara. Those are the three guys who will see probably the most targets in this offense.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? I mean, do you feel the same way?
No, I definitely feel the same way. I think there's no need to worry, no need to panic. It was just a one-off. See what happens. Mark Andrews, another letdown again.
This is becoming a trend.
Yeah, look, I just want to say before we kind of get into Mark Andrews, this Baltimore offense is struggling. Lamar can't get the ball to anyone. He resorts to running himself. It's always like he needs to do it himself. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm not really sure if there's enough talent anymore on this team besides Mark Andrews. You know, they got Des Bryant for what? You know, Hollywood Brown. You can't get him the ball. He's not doing anything. And the running backs are terrible right now. So Mark Andrews, though.
Yeah. Here's a stat that is really scary. Okay. Mm-hmm. Take out the 3 games where he scored a touchdown. Take out all the games where he scored a touchdown,
right,
which was only 3 games so far. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 other games, which is a big sample size, he's currently averaging under 5 fantasy points PPR. Under 5 fantasy points.
That's crazy.
The reality is if the Ravens don't figure out how the hell to run an offense anymore, there's not going to be much value on that offense.
This defense is saving this team. Actually, this defense is so good.
Really.
It's saving them at every turn, and it's concerning because, you know, you once you get to the playoffs, it's just going to be like, why are you here? You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. And, one thing I was going to say is Jonathan Taylor wasn't far from this list, by the way.
No.
He wasn't far from the trash list. He got into the touchdown. He got into the end zone, excuse me, which helped his fantasy day tremendously. But he finished with 9.4 fantasy points. You do the math, take away 6 points. That's 3.4 fantasy points. Coming off a week last week where he should have smashed 5 fantasy points.
Yeah.
The schedule is beautiful going forward. Again, the schedule is beautiful. Probably the best schedule for a running back.
Sell him high.
There's probably people panicking on JT right now. Where is his value? Is he a top 20 running back? Is he a top 15? Is he a top 25? Where does he sit right now?
For me, I think he's right outside top 20. I think he's just, on the edge of 25, I think. I don't see him. Look, we have to see. He does have a promising schedule, so that could elevate him to that next level within the top 20. But I don't see him really performing. Like, obviously, this is a great defense. He played. Who did he play last week? That he didn't have that many points, and we were all surprised.
Detroit.
Yeah, he played Detroit. That was a good opportunity. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So. Yeah. I don't know.
The other thing that is concerning is the snap count. It's pretty even between him and Jordan Wilkins.
Yeah. And
surprise. Maybe they are more concerned about wins than getting a rookie involved. So anyway, that was a little bit off topic, but I feel like that was I just had a thought to myself when we talked about the Baltimore defense because they scored that touchdown off of his fumble.
Yeah. Man,
it's scary days to own Jonathan Taylor. And it's frustrating because he should be so good in this offense.
Before we go, go on to the next segment. I'm interested to see. I can't wait to see next year. With Marlon Mack coming in. I think I've always told you, and I don't know if our listeners know. I never thought that Jonathan Taylor was going to be this top guy. I always thought that Marlon Mack was the guy. He got injured. It was unfortunate for Marlon Mack, and the opportunity did come for Jonathan Taylor. It just wasn't there. So. I'm excited and interested to see what's going to happen next year when Marlon Mack does come back and he is in full swing. Who is going to be getting these touches? Yeah. Who's going to be this guy?
I get what you're saying. I think JT's still the guy.
For the future, for sure. I
don't think Marlon's the guy they're focusing on. Yeah. But honestly, what can happen between now and mini camps and the 2021 season is way too much to think about. So no, it's a good thought. And so that was our straight cash and just trash performances of week 9. A big list, a lot to talk about. But let's talk about Monday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football?
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 Oh boy.
Are you ready for an entertaining game? The New York Football Jets at 0-8 take on the 2-5 New England Patriots. This is a game. This is prime time. This was not flexed out. This is we have to watch this, right?
We have to watch this. I believe that tonight the Jets are going to beat the Patriots.
Stop it.
And
don't say that.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't say that on live podcast.
If people want to come at me for that, I get it. I understand, but I think this is the perfect opportunity for them. This is probably the weakest team they played, the worst team they played so far. And this is going to be the great opportunity for them. Joe Flacco's playing. Sam Darnold's not in. Jameson Crowder's back. They're getting all these people back from injury. And that this could be it. Who knows?
The GG's, boys. Thanks for playing.
I'm trying to recover. No. The Jets are not going to win this game.
Okay.
And to be honest, Cam Newton could be injured and out for the rest of the year. And Julian Edelman is already that way. Damian Harris could be out. Their entire running backs could be out. They have Bill Belichick, okay? I do not want to disrespect Bill Belichick this much and say that he cannot beat the 0-8 Jets. For me, I see the Patriots winning by at least 2 touchdowns.
I just think that it's a perfect opportunity for the Jets. And I'm not saying that they're going to win. I'm not saying they're going to win by a huge margin. I'm saying this is a good opportunity, and I genuinely believe that they can actually come out with the win.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I just think that any opportunity that is a good opportunity when it's also attached to one Sir Adam Gase is not a good opportunity indeed.
Right.
So we'll see. But yes, you're right. Crowder is coming back. Crowder's probably the only relevant guy on this team anymore.
That's it.
Right?
That's literally it.
That's really it.
3 people that you're starting on both teams on both of these teams in total.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the list.
4.
Who's the 4th? Look, I'll tell you.
You go.
All right. So obviously on the Patriots, Damian Harris, Cam Newton. On the Jets, Jamison Crowder. That's all. That's the only 3 people that I can think of that I'm starting.
Yep.
Anyone?
Okay.
Anyone else?
Well, mine isn't a person. It's more of a group.
Yeah. Okay. Defense.
Which is the New England Patriots defense.
Okay.
And I would smash start them. It would be my favorite start if I had an option this week.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I could pretend and tell you that my favorite start would have been the Saints and just take that win, but that's just not true. This would have been my favorite start for a defense. And so, all right, final score predictions. What do you think? What do you think the score is going to be? Just before we move on, I just want to see what you're thinking in this upset of yours.
I think it will stay under the over-under on the 41, so maybe 21 to 10, maybe around there ish.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say 24-7 Patriots.
Okay.
So we will see.
We'll see.
But hey, honestly, we all get to a place, guys. We all get to this place where players underperform and things get really frustrating, and we start to think about dropping people. So we're gonna give you 2 thoughts for 2 drops.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant.
2 thoughts for 2 drops. Badaki and I are both going to give you some people we are thinking about dropping, and we're going to tell you if we think you can or if you can't drop these people. Okay, so let's start off. I'll start off with Devin Singletary. Now, Badaki, you could probably take this one on your own because you're such a big fan of Zach Moss.
Yeah.
But Zach Moss has been really productive since coming back from that injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I'll take it. I think Devin Singletary is losing his starting job slowly but surely. Zach Moss has just before. Devin Singletary only had 2 carries this game. Okay, 2 carries, and then he caught the ball 3 times. So he was obviously he wasn't on the field for a total of 5 times, but he had the ball a total of 5 times this whole game. Okay, which is not very appealing if you're a Devin Singletary owner. But Zach Moss had 9 carries and he was targeted, I think, twice or 3 times, and he had a touchdown. He's getting the goal line. Zach Moss is getting the goal line touches. So for me right now, Devin Singletary is probably still too valuable to drop, but I think he's on
the edge.
Exactly, he was on the edge. He's on the edge
of
right
glory. And I'm hanging on a moment with you. No, I get it. I totally get it. You know, I think any running back in an offense like this, you probably can't drop just yet.
Right.
And it was funny, actually, if you look at what Pete Carroll said after the game, he said, we had a great game plan to stop the run, and they just didn't run. No. And that's really interesting because
they must have game planned for
maybe that's
for the last game they played. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe this had something to do with game plan of what the Bills had in mind, and what does that say about Devin Singletary? I don't think you can drop him. But if the games keep going the way we've seen them, you might start to drop him. And, you know, it reminds me of a guy like Mark Ingram. I mean, for a while, you're like, you can't drop this guy. No way. You can't drop Mark Ingram. And then the games got worse, and they got worse, and they got worse. And you were like, okay, there's not much value here. Maybe you can drop this guy.
Yeah.
But our other drop candidate is the entire 49ers backfield.
That's right. Look, I'll take this one too because I'm actually really excited about this one. The 49ers backfield.
I know you are.
Look, we know that you can't drop anyone on this 49ers backfield, okay? And I think that's pretty clear because you're probably saying, but we don't know who's going to be the starting back each week. And you're right, we don't. We don't know. And, you know, you have McKinnon, Hasty, Wilson, you know, all these other guys that are so happen to be on the 49ers backfield. You just can't trust them. You can't
potentially Mostert coming back.
Yeah, exactly. So look, right now you just can't trust. You cannot trust Kyle Shanahan. You actually can't trust him.
Yeah,
he's mixing and matching. You know, 1 week's McKinnon, 1 week's Hastings, 1 week Wilson. You can't trust him. It's clear that his 2 favorite guys are Mostert and Coleman. It's clear. You know, because when they're healthy, they're both on the field and they're both being used evenly. They're splitting carries. They're doing what they're doing. So I think if, you know, you have to hold on to these guys, but I'm telling you, don't start them. I don't think you can start any of these guys with any confidence anymore.
Let me give you a little scenario. Why don't you go ahead and close your eyes? Let's go there, okay? It's Sunday morning. The 49ers are going to play the Seahawks, for example. And you get a text notification and it says, breaking news. Tevin Coleman named the starting running back for the 49ers this week.
Yeah.
Right? And you're thinking, okay, I know. Now I know. All right. Let me go ahead and smash Tevin Coleman into my lineup. What's that going to end up like for you? Let's be real. Think about it. In 3 hours, you're going to be upset that Tevin Coleman was in your lineup because Jeff Wilson or Hasty or McKinnon are going to end up with more points. I'll be honest with you. I don't want any of these guys on my team. I have McKinnon. If anyone wants McKinnon in the league, in my other league, please come find me because I don't want to have to deal with this headache. I don't want to have this anxiety, this unknown pressures of who the hell is going to be the guy there because there is value, but we just don't know. And while you can't drop them, you should be looking to trade every 49ers running back, excuse me.
That's right.
Including Raheem Mostert.
Get him out.
Not for nothing. You're not trading him away for nothing.
Right.
Get good value back, but get a situation that is less uncertain. That's just how I look at it.
Okay.
Is that fair?
No, that's fair. I love it.
Okay.
Get him off your team. We don't like him.
All right, Fantasyland fam, who are you thinking about dropping this week? Why don't you let us know in the comments here, either on YouTube or on our Instagram page. We'd love to help you out, tell you if we would be okay dropping that person or not. And of course, if you guys are in 8-team leagues, everyone we just talked about should be dropped. They shouldn't be on your team already, okay? We always have these conversations based off of a 12-team league, which is potentially the most common. But hey, thanks so much for listening to the episode. Please do not miss, you do not want to miss waiver wire targets, week 10 waiver wire targets.
Oh boy.
We started doing this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we've got tons of people messaging us in the DMs saying, thank you. This has actually been super helpful. I've been waiting for you guys to do the waiver wires, and I actually really enjoyed doing waiver wire. It's something that we already did on our own. We just didn't talk to you guys about it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I really enjoy that show. It's not too long, and it could probably help you for your waivers. It's pretty crucial when you think about it. Waiver wire might be the most crucial thing in fantasy football other than trading. Fair?
Absolutely.
All right, so take 35 minutes out. Come join us on that next episode, which will be out tomorrow. We got a monthly giveaway coming up soon. We're pretty excited about it. We're going to let you know. Love you so much, Fantasyland fam. Where can people follow us, Badaki, if they want to follow us on social media?
I mean, obviously, we're all on Instagram, Fantasyland Football, Twitter, Fantasyland_FB, Spotify. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Drop a like, comment, notification, and we're all on all social medias. Once again, and we also have Patreon. Once again, patreon.com/FantasylandFam. If you want to support the show, it's all love.
It is all love. So, New York Giants, the New York Jets.
Oh,
are you sure this is your last time?
I'm sure. This is going to be a game that we are surprised about. Okay, that's all I'm saying. We thought that the Bucs and Saints were going to be a good game. No. This is going to be a good game.
I mean, I can't wait to watch this. Hey, I want to give a small little shout out to Enrico. Enrico follows us on Twitter, and he just recently signed up to our Patreon. He is part of the Fantasyland fam community. A big shout out to you, my guy. He found the show through iHeartRadio and just loved it, so he decided to support us, and that's so awesome. We would love for people to, kind of view us that way, because this is something that we'd love for you to be a part of as well. Again, that is patreon.com/FantasylandFam. Have a great Monday. We will see if the New York Jets are one win better tomorrow. We'll see. But hey, have a great Monday night, and we will see you tomorrow on the Waiver Show. All love. See you there.
Hey, yeah, you, the one listening to this podcast, you made a good decision today. Keep making those good decisions. You know what? Go ahead and do a little dance right now, like no one's watching. 'Cause you deserve it.